Can you and your companion save the world of Alberon from the threat of the Dragon Queen? Let's take a look at the contents. As you can see, we have the box art here. Quick note, this is not a final production copy that we received, and also we've already unboxed it so we could do our how to play video, so be sure to check that out on your screen right now. But getting to the box art, it's really cool looking. The art direction was actually done by Pablo Parente of Other Game fame, very well known in the miniature game industry for some really cool looking art. He's worked with Simon and a couple other places before as well, but really cool looking box art. The back of the box is just kind of the inverted box, but again, this is not a final copy, so your mileage may vary. Anastyr takes a lot of inspiration from side-scroller beat-em-ups. So if you've ever been in an arcade and you're mashing those buttons, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. I have some of the game boards for the Jade Sea, and nothing better illustrates that cool side-scrolling action that this game is kind of based off of better than the boards and the tiles that they are. So here I have one of the game boards. This is Jade Sea 1, and as you can see on your screen, you kind of put it down. These are the two edges, well, 4 edges, but here's the 2 edges that matter, and then the other tile kind of goes here. This is Jade Sea Part 2, and as the game moves, as the combat moves from one side to the next, you get to the end, and then this one flips over and has Jade Sea 3. And then again, the fight continues, more bad guys. As you progress through the campaign fight, the side-scrolling action continues, and you get to this cool-looking village area where more stuff goes down. In Anastyr, to kind of go along with that beat-em-up mechanic, each one of the characters comes with a player board to help you track your stuff. So it's really cool. Each character has one. You can kind of see here. They're all kind of shaped the same. You've got your basic stats, which you've got your attack, your defense, your art, which is your magic capabilities, your movement, and your size. The size actually relates to the player boards. Most player boards have a size limit of 6. Mounts are a little bit bigger. I think they're size 2 for the most part. But yeah, that's what the size is for. But what's cool about each one of these player boards, it allows you to count your health, which you're going to count down as you take damage, and your fury as you unleash abilities here. When you get to the top, you get like an ultimate ability, which they call Unleashing the Fury. And each character has their own Fury Unleasher here. So just crazy stuff you can do as you play through the game. To build up your Fury, you play technique cards. And the way these technique cards are situated, they're pretty neat. You play one, and it kind of slides under here, under your player board. And as you play cards from your technique deck, if you match the symbols to a combo, you can then use that ability. So it's a neat way to trigger different things. In this case, Tailwind will trigger, which it allows Undraw to move and ignore terrain, which is a nice way to get around the board. And again, you want to play these cards. You want to play your technique cards in order to build up the Fury, and you unleash that in an ultimate Fury attack. So, cool stuff. To go along with the beat-em-up mechanics in Anastyr, you also have to roll some dice to do damage. And just very simple dice game. Mechanically, you're not going to be rolling like a bucket of dice here. It's going to be a couple of dice at a time, usually like 2 or 3 dice for attacks or defense or what have you. The way the dice is broken down is you've got 1 blank, 3 single hits, 1 double hit, and a grapple mechanic, which allows you to like literally throw enemies across the board, which is kind of cool. There's also a Fury die, which has 1, 2, or 3 Fury that you can roll when that is also active. So it's a very clean dice game. You're not going to need like dozens and dozens of dice here. You've got 8 basic attack dice in the core set. So that's all you really need to start playing. So here we have some of the other cards you'll encounter here. We've got the quest cards here. Again, this one has 3 quests for the Jade Sea. We've got the enemy cards here, the Tracker, the Slaughterer, the Flayer. We also have the tameable mounts, and this is another neat feature. So let's say you tame a Hayati here. It flips over, and then you take your player board, and it slots in underneath there, or on top of there, like so. So that's what the mount cards turn into, and it works with the player boards, which is super rad. But yeah, each one you can kind of see their stats and everything like that. You've got your quest objective, which, no spoilers here. I'm not going to go over how that all works. On top of the game board, the player board, enemies, cards, and all that other stuff. There's a lot more stuff that I'm not going to cover in this video, as you can see on your screen. If you are interested, though, check out our How to Play video, because Matt does a great job of covering all of this extra stuff. Now, let's look at those minis. Here we have the heroes and a couple of the antagonists to look at. And again, this is not a final production copy, but are shipped in these really cool plastic containers, and everything was self-contained, so wanted to show that stuff off. It's neat packaging. Here we have the 6 heroes, and again, this game is designed for 1 to 4 players. You, as the players, get to choose which 4 you want to take on this adventure, and I believe you can swap them in and out as needed. This game also features a really cool system where you can actually take a mount, which in this case this is a Hyati, and I hope I'm saying that right. And you can take one of the heroes, in this case, this is Karak, and they're all magnetized. And you can just boop, pop them down there on your base, on the mount. They don't fall off, as you can see. They are on there, and then when you want to take them off, they're just magnetized. So that was pretty cool, I thought, as a neat thing. This does have an in-game effect, obviously, from being on foot versus mounted, so pretty neat things. But we'll go through the characters real quick. I might not pull them all out, but I do want to say that these miniatures look great. They're very highly detailed. It's a mix of PVC and ABC compounds for some of the materials and components. I did a little research on the Kickstarter, that which is still live if you want to read about the game. But the component-wise, these look fantastic. Starting off here, I have Bird. She's got the cool double shields, which is something you don't very often see. I'm going to move this to the side here. It's a cool double shield tank kind of warrior person. She's just really cool. The detail on the feathers, or sorry, not feathers, the fur, the horns, the shields, just everything about these miniatures looks really cool. And I know it's a little washed out on the camera, but you got to trust me on this when I say these minis look great. There's Shandu the shaman. She's just a big old lady on a big old... she can put on a horse, which you have regular horses, and then, again, the Hyati. And, again, all magnetized. Very cool. Just kind of a magic user healer type. There's the... Again, each character also has a mounted version. So here we have Beard on for a mount. So she's got the double shields. And then, again, just to showcase really cool stuff. And then... Oh, all right, fine, Karak. You want to get out of the box? Double rogue, double sword wielding rogue, short sword maybe. But this guy's not only ripped in terms of like musculature, but again, the detail on here is super fine. You can see all of it. It's really cool. They came in this kind of orange tone. I don't know if this is like a pre-primer or what, but it came to us like this. So it's pretty cool. And again, because these are great looking miniatures, the scale is, I think, like 28 to 32 millimeters, so it's a little bit larger, like a mythic scale versus some of the stuff you may be familiar with. They're a little bit larger than some of your other minis, but the detail is just oozing and dripping off of each and every one of these miniatures, which is super cool. This is Conrad here. He's got like a sword and a axe looking thing, hatchet, and just to, again, it's just cool to see a game company ship them with the magnets already in there, so you can dangle them upside down and show them off. But again, really cool stuff. And then we've got some bad guys. These are the flayers, which are super cool. Now these don't pop off. These are just single unit here, but the detail on these miniatures is, like I was saying, just fan-freaking-tastic. The fur on the capes, the knot bore details from the Hyati. And again, I don't know if I'm saying that right or wrong, but it sounded close. Just really cool all the way around. And this is just, just the heroes. We got more to check out. Again, I know I'm kind of handling these on the main camera up here, but we will have 360s of all these miniatures at the end of the video, so stick around for those. They are worth checking out. So here's the box with the non-mounted versions of the characters. Again, we had Brid. I think I was saying Beard or Brid from the last one. She was in mounted and non-mounted. But here we have the other characters again. We have Conrad, Shandu's here. We've got Karak, Undral, who's really cool. This is the one with if you watch the trailer, she's got like the big two-handed sword and the bird. It's pretty sweet. And then we also have Pyra, I believe is the name, the archer / rogue. Really cool, like avian themed on her. Really cool feathers on the details. Everything about these miniatures is fan-freaking-tastic. again. We also have the Sylphae down here, which are like we've got a Sylphae Guardian, Warrior, and Enchanter. They're kind of like the mounts. You can kind of tame them, befriend them, and they're frenemies, sort of. So it's in the game. Again, if you want to know how to play the game, check out our video. But they're in there too. They're sort of friends. We'll leave it at that. Moving on, the bad guys though are definitely not cool. We have the trackers and the slaughterers, and by not cool I mean they want to kill you because their models are really cool. I think the slaughterers are perhaps my favorite enemy models of this batch anyway. Just the amount of detail on each one is crazy. Just the scale mail, the feathers, the fur, the weapons are like you have etching and all this cool stuff. There's just so much going on with these miniatures. They look like they're going to take paint just awesomely. So if you are a hobbyist and you're looking for a really cool painting project, this game, Anastyr, is yeah, you're going to have hours of fun painting these miniatures up because they are just freaking cool looking. But yeah, these are the mostly on foot versions. Yeah, they're all on foot this time. But yeah, here we have Karak. This one's Karak because he's got the two swords. Conrad's the dude with the sword and the axe handle thing. And again, just look how dynamic these miniatures are. Let me move to the side. In terms of like movement, you've got Conrad like leaping off of a rock here to attack his enemies, and then you've got Karak doing the crazy awesome "look how awesome I am" pose. But look at the fur on there, and just it's nuts. These models are completely bonkers. And again, they came shipped like this, so very impressed with the production value of these and the quality and the detail that they're able to hold with these miniatures. So thumbs up from us. All right, so here's the next batch of the miniatures, which we have a couple of the bosses, which are kind of like literally like the boss encounters for this set, and some more enemies to deal with. We've got the Skinner, which is like a double dagger person about to stab you, like a rogue type almost. Then we've got the Hunter, which is looking like he's going to try to capture some of those Hayati from earlier, maybe birds too, I don't know. We also have what I think is one of the craziest miniatures here. This is another mount figure. This is the Lowland Wyvern, or Wyvern, however you want to say that one. I've heard it pronounced Wyvern, so whatever. It's also a mount, and I've got Brid here, the double shield tank, and as you can see, pops around just fine. It's magnetized, shake off. So again, super cool. Those magnets are very fun to play with, and they're locked in there pretty good. So yeah, but it's great. The detail on this mini is fantastic. You can see the scales individually on some spots here, and it looks like a lizard that they like dipped in plastic, which maybe don't do that, but it looks really good is what I'm trying to say. Aside from that, we've got the two bosses here. We've got Molokai and Naki, which again, I'm probably butchering those names. I apologize, but I want to show these off to you guys. They are crazy looking. Just the sheer amount of detail, and I know it's like super washed out, but it's because of the cream like color they used on these bad guys. But man, these details are just phenomenal. Crazy scale pattern, or like fur pattern on the cloak here. The upside down brazier, I don't know, that it's standing on is really cool. It's like a you know that scene in Conan the Barbarian where they like dump the brazier out and it's got all like the green liquid in the body parts? It looks like that thing got tipped over and there's like a hand or a claw like trying to climb out, which is super cool and creepy, and kind of fitting considering this is supposed to be like pre-Mesopotamia, like ancient Mediterranean type of vibe here. So not pre-Mesopotamia, you know what I'm saying? It's the Mediterranean before the sea, maybe before the seas drink Atlantis type of a thing. I don't know, but it's super cool. And then Molokai here is just on this crazy beast thing. I don't know if it's a demon or what, but it's so rad. Maybe this is the thing hopping out of the brazier. You can see the claw there, so maybe that's the other option here. But it's so cool. This is just like a big boss mount thing that is just rad. So, yeah, these I want to see what these guys are like in the game and try to take them out. So, very cool minis all around. If you stuck around this long, you're probably waiting for those 360s. So check these bad boys out. So that was Anastyr. As you saw, some fantastic minis in there. It's got some great side-scrolling beat-em-up action. There's fantastic minis that hop on very highly detailed mounts, fighting bad guys in a prehistoric sort of Mediterranean setting. It's super cool looking. If you're a fan of Conan the Barbarian or any kind of like swords and sorcery, heavy on the swords, light on the sorcery, this game is for you. Go check Anastyr out from Mythic Games. And yeah, that's some good stuff. If you're interested in learning how to play Anastyr, check out our video right there. I'm Adam here from Bowles. Thanks for watching.